Dude! So that was good. Wasn't that good?
Brilliant. That was brilliant.
It was a chiptune introduction.
That was fantastic.
Do you want to know who made
We're
it?
leaving that in because I
obviously,
think that was brilliant.
Look at your your laughter on the computer. Looks like a fish skeleton.
It was. Say about the dude who did the chiptune, because that was pretty sweet.
I know him only as the Beard Phantom.
That's a cool name.
Well, I know him. I don't know him, but what I did was I went on Reddit.
Beard Phantom.
Exactly. That's how he speaks, actually. He was like, I'd be happy to make you a theme tune.
I'm the Beard Phantom.
He's sounding a bit disabled now. But he's not, as
Most
far as I know.
Most people on the internet are, though, aren't they?
We're on the internet.
That's true. We're a bit disabled.
Listen.
Your disability is being frighteningly middle class and hipster.
So's yours.
No way. I'm not a hipster.
You were like, oh, bloody good. My steelbook has arrived.
Did I say that?
He's called the Beard Phantom, and he made us a chiptune introduction because this is our Nintendo special episode, which we'll come to.
Yep.
A bit about him. He is a game developer / programmer with a company called Rubicon Games, or Rubicon Games. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
I think it's Rubicon.
They've done a game called Hector, which was published by Meridian 4 on Steam, and I think, Steve, you said you'd seen that before.
Yes.
It looks fucking awesome. It looks proper scary.
I got paid today, so I'm going to download it.
Okay, cool. If you do, can I come round? Because I don't want to play it alone because I'll get really scared. So we can play it together in the dark.
All right.
They've just announced a new title, which is called Gunula, which I think is a mixture of Dracula and gun, which sounds pretty awesome.
Nice.
I've looked at some of the stills from it. It looks like a pretty divine game visually. And I think it's just he's called it a charming 2D side-scrolling shooter with no release date yet. But we'll keep you updated on our Twitter because it does sound very interesting.
Cool.
Thank you again for that. That was really cool. We wanted something to bring you into the world of Nintendo because it's been a sad week for Nintendo.
What would we do if it wasn't for your networking?
Well, I imagine you would be homeless on the streets, but that's just me. That's just, I
think that's probably fairly accurate.
Because my networking is second to none.
It is pretty good.
I mean, all I do is
put a bit of effort in where I feel bad.
No, you do as well, because you're the one who goes to like the pre-releases of Magic tournaments, and you live tweet the events.
To be fair,
stuff.
I wouldn't have gone if it wasn't for Magic. No, Nintendo.
Settle down now, Stephen. We don't want to do too much. Satoru Iwata died.
Yeah, man.
Which is very sad because obviously the president and CEO of Nintendo.
Yes.
And I think we are both big lovers of Nintendo, so we thought what a better time to do a sort of homage to him in the form of a dedicated podcast.
Wait, I don't like Nintendo.
Oh, hang on, me neither.
Oh,
fuck it. Bye then.
See you later. Shall we?
Let's do it like you had an idea for a cooler format this time. I think if we start off with some educating Alex.
You probably know most of this because you looked him up yourself, so stop me if you...
Well, I only started to look him up more, and then I realised, and then I asked you, and you said, I'm going to do some educating. I got
2 pages on this guy.
So let's give this guy a bit of history for those of you who don't know, including myself.
Satoru Iwata, born December 6th, 1959. After he graduated from university, he joined HAL Laboratories. HAL.
Oh, yeah.
They're behind a lot of games that are with Nintendo, but I don't think they were a part of Nintendo at the time. He also helped found the company, I think, that make the Pokemon games.
Oh, Game Freak?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Game Shark, do you remember them?
Yes. He joined as the coordinator of software production in 1983.
Okay.
Or he was promoted. He became the president of HAL Laboratory in 1993 and turned the company around from the brink of bankruptcy.
See, was HAL the name of the in 2001?
Yes.
Do you think that's where they got their name from?
Might be.
That'd be cool to
know.
So
he turned the company around from going bankrupt, and he also assisted in the development of Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Oh.
Coming up with some compression software that was used on later Game Boy games, because he was a coder, a programmer, and he also helped program Pokemon Stadium for the Nintendo 64. He helped make it work so that the games could cross-work.
See, he's a visionary because I think Nintendo were way ahead of the other consoles before they'd even considered like cross-console
Yeah.
Gaming. So I think that he sort of kept a lot to himself because of his dedication to Nintendo.
He joined Nintendo in 2000 as part of the corporate planning division, and he became the 4th president of Nintendo in 2002, the first non-family member to be president of Nintendo.
Oh, really?
All the other 3 had been related
Wow.
to the original founder.
I didn't know that.
When he joined Nintendo, or during his tenure there, he said he felt that gaming was too inclusive, and he wanted to open it up to everyone.
Do you mean too exclusive?
No, I mean inclusive, like people involved in it.
Oh, right,
Like,
okay.
It only includes a certain demographic of people. I mean, I guess that is exclusive as well.
It was too exclusively inclusive.
Yes. Fucking try and correct me, sunshine.
No, I just, you know.
I've put inclusive, and I'm sticking by that.
Okay, yeah.
Do you not think I'm right?
No, I guess it depends how you use it. It's not important. A guy has died, Stephen.
Yeah, and he wanted to open it up to everyone. He helped transition the Game Boy to the DS, so he helped launch the Nintendo DS, which is probably one of the most successful consoles Nintendo have ever released.
Something I did look up about that is that it sold, I think the DS has sold more models than the iPhone and the Game Boy Advance and everything.
Yeah, it's
like 24 million or something.
Yeah,
or
it's up there in the
must be more than 24 million.
I think
actually.
I think that sounds about right, because that's a lot when you think about
that's like
sales.
20. If you think of a million,
that's 24 of those. Yeah. He also oversaw the development of the Wii, which
do you want to oversee the development of my Wii?
Which I've put here. Is that responsible for inclusive gaming?
Oh,
because I think that the Wii, going off on a tangent a little bit, was the first game system that included the entire family.
Yeah.
In a way that nothing ever had. So he was behind the development of 2 of Nintendo's biggest successes.
Yeah.
Also 2 of their biggest failures. The 3DS and the Wii U.
The 3DS is a failure?
The launch was, the first year was.
Right, yeah,
I mean, even now, it's sold okay, but its first year of launch, it was really bad.
What's the second failure?
The Wii U.
Oh, right, yeah.
In terms of sales, I don't think they're bad consoles.
The sad thing is the failure or lack of success, if you want to call it that instead, is more due to the strong competition than...
I think the problem with the Wii U was Nintendo wanted to be the same as the Wii and trying to market themselves towards the PS3 and Xbox when they really should have just gone, right, we're either a sequel to the Wii or we're a HD gaming system. You can't do both.
No.
But, I mean, I still think the Wii U is a good console. But in terms of success, it's not, sadly, is the truth.
No, I think they've got a new console in the pipeline, haven't they, for
I think
to compete with
I doubt they'll announce much else for the Wii U in the meantime.
No.
In 2009, when Nintendo's finances took a serious downturn...
I remember.
He cut his salary in half so that Nintendo could focus their money into competing with them.
That is how you run a business.
Yeah, that
is what you... Like, you get CEOs and people who are like... Right, I'm gonna make 20% of the staff redundant to save money, but I think I deserve a bonus this year.
Yeah, I know. Bankers particularly.
Even just them, just people who don't seem to think that people will care that they're being greedy.
No, exactly.
This guy was not a greedy
No, he
man.
took half so that Nintendo could focus on their, the console developments and stuff. It was also noted by a few people. He was listed as one of the top 100 CEOs or something because he was made CEO of Nintendo of America.
Yes.
And he was he considered to be quite a rare commodity because he was a programmer as well. He knew what he was doing, sort of thing.
It's rare you get. It's probably going to be offensive to computer people, but it's rare you get programmers who can actually also speak to people
and run a business.
Yeah.
Now, talking about speaking to people, he was what I would say responsible for pulling back the curtain on a fairly secretive company. Nintendo, up until him joining, never really talked about what they were doing, other than say at E3. But even then, it was all very hush hush.
I read that they started off as cards, playing cards.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
They started off as love hotels. before
hotel.
making cards. Yeah, before making
like
games.
sexy cards.
No, like love hotels where you could go and hire out a hotel and make love.
Oh right.
Yeah, their
I
origins.
thought it was
They did make cards,
yeah,
but that was
I
like
thought
their
cards were
earliest.
the- but the cards had sexy pictures on them.
Probably, yeah. He started using social media to respond to fans, and he also started up the Iwata Asks article on the website where, you know, he would involve fans and stuff.
Oh wow.
And then in 2011, he helped to launch Nintendo Direct. For those who know what that is, that's their sort of every other month or bi-monthly stream where you can see basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
Very light-hearted. He like a lot of fun. Like he was a fun guy. And also, they kind of he stopped their focus on E3. He said like we're not going to announce everything in one big go.
Yeah.
They started doing smaller, like Nintendo Direct, focused streams. Just he was really open with everything he did.
I think like Nintendo always successfully have had their fingers in lots of different pies at once.
Yeah.
I think with Sony and Microsoft, okay, maybe a bit different with Microsoft, but when you're thinking about E3, it's like, this is what's big on the PS4, this is what's big on the Xbox One. Also, here's some other shit that we're doing.
Yeah.
But with Nintendo, it's like, this, and this. These are all to look forward to.
Well, the thing at E3, they don't really announce their big titles because they've already done it on Nintendo
Yeah,
Direct.
yeah.
They save a couple of bits, but generally he wasn't a fan of E3. He preferred being like open with his audience all the way through
Yeah.
the year. He in 2005 he was part of the inspiration or part of the team that decided Nintendo should focus on mobile games.
Oh.
You know, that's a thing now. They're going to be making games for
Yeah.
mobile phones.
Yeah.
He, whilst working with Nintendo, he worked on Legend of Zelda series, Mario, and Animal Crossing, and he passed away July the 12th, 2015. And I've got a quote here that he said at a game conference.
What, this year?
No, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
He said, "On my business card, I am a corporate president. In my mind, I am a game developer, but in my heart, I am a gamer."
Oh, that is really nice.
It's a good quote.
It's really good because it's like, it just shows that to the end he had passion for what he did. Not just in the business side of it, not even hardly at all in the business side of it. He just had a very strong business mind, but he was like, I'm making these games for people to enjoy.
Yeah, he seemed... I watch Nintendo Direct anyway. I stream those when they come out, and he
Yeah.
is definitely very passionate about the things he cares about.
For real.
Did you? And also the Nintendo stream at E3 where they were like puppets was... everything he did was light-hearted. It was so much fun.
Exactly. See, all I really got to with looking him up was the place he was born. And I don't even know if I'm going to say it properly. Ready?
Yep.
Sapporo, Hokkaido, Japan. I think if you say it in Japanese like Sapporo. I don't do a Japanese
No,
accent.
I've noticed.
But Hokkaido.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
No idea. I'm
I
going to
don't
look
know how
it
to
up. I'm sure
pronounce
it's a
it.
lovely place.
Oh, yeah.
But that was really interesting. I think it's like you take for granted the people behind, you know, what basically made our childhood what it was.
Yeah.
Because how old were you? I mean, I was 12 in 2002. You must have been 14, 15.
Yeah.
But we were still sort of similar ages, teenagers. That was probably GameCube era.
Yep.
Onto...
He came in just as the GameCube was launching, I think.
Yeah, okay. So like GameCube era to then DS era and Wii and all that. But still like the big franchises like Mario, Zelda, Kirby not so much.
But Kirby was a
Kirby was way
big
before.
franchise of his, though.
Yeah, it was. He
came up with Dreamland.
Yeah. But I think just we do, you know, every time we play a Nintendo game, we're not sat there going, oh, I wonder who made this, what it was. But then it's only when he sort of...
I care more. Actually, I sort of agree, but I know more about who made my games from Nintendo because they have such big personalities. Whereas on the Xbox, you just go, oh yeah, so-and-so made Resident Evil 25 or whatever. You know, you don't really care.
I'll tell you what I like. At the end of Smash Bros. Melee, when I think they probably do it in the other Smash Bros. Games as well, where it's like you have to shoot the names as the credits roll.
Yes.
So it's kind of like keeping you interested in reading the credits. They really do credit their game makers.
Yeah, that's HAL Laboratories, isn't it?
Yeah. So, it's just, you know, sad that he's died.
Yeah, it
really
is really
young as
sad.
well, like 50. I didn't know he was that ill. Like, I didn't even know he had cancer.
Well,
to be
he
honest.
was someone, I can't remember who it was, had said that they'd had a meeting with him the week before and he was fine.
Really?
It was last year, wasn't it? He had to cancel go into E3 because of this bile duct growth.
Yeah.
And the surgery and stuff. But yeah, it was out of nowhere, really.
I know. Sad.
Mm.
But so what I've got next is just talking about experiences with Nintendo. It would make a change from our usual discussions of how often we masturbate and using what implements.
Yes.
Which are usual stories from our teenage years. But for me, do you want to know my first experience with Nintendo?
Go on.
It's going to freak you out, and and you'll know why in a bit. I was about 3 or 4,
right,
watching my dad and my uncle play Super Mario Kart on the SNES when it first came out in, I think, 92.
Yeah.
And get this, my dad was your age.
28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that weird? Like,
No,
I
it was 28
can't
years
imagine.
ago.
No, I know, but no, it wasn't 28 years ago.
No, it wasn't. 23.
But still.
No, wait. Some years ago.
It was some years ago. But, like, I look at you now and I imagine if I was a 3-year-old and you were, like, my responsible guardian, I'd be like, fucking Jesus Christ.
But everyone in the 80s and 90s looked older.
That's
like,
true.
pictures of my parents, I'm
did.
like, you look younger now and you're in your 50s.
Yeah, I know. But to me, that's weird. I remember looking, going, "Hey, that's my grown-up dad. What's he doing playing video games?" But now we still play them on a regular basis. I also, my next, like a lot of Nintendo to begin with for me was watching my older relatives play it, because I was really like Ocarina of Time was my first real love in console gaming, because one of my cousins who was about 6-7 years older than me. He had Ocarina of Time on N64, and was like, he'd be playing it when we'd go around and see him and see my family, and I would always be like, oh, can we go and play Ocarina of Time? Can I watch you play it? And he was like, no, because he'd find me really annoying, because I guess I was an annoying little shitty kid. But it was just really cool to watch. I remember being like quite freaked out because it was quite an eerie game. Like, obviously not as eerie as Majora's Mask, but when he when he goes to Hyrule in the future and they're all the zombie people, and it's pretty messed up. But I remember having this weird, scary fascination with it.
You're a bit of a pussy.
I was only fucking 6.
You still are now, though. You have to play games on easy.
I know, but it's only because I'm more interested in the story than the challenge in a lot of them. I mean, if a game is too... Like, a normal game I'll play on normal mode, but the Evil Within is so hard that I was just dying constantly. I know that's the point, but I got to a point where I was like, fucking hell, I just want to know what happens. So I made it.
You definitely shouldn't bother with Bloodborne or Demon's Souls.
No, that's why I didn't.
You're not going to be your kind of game.
I like it. I'm more. Yeah, I like story. That's why I like Zelda so much and things like that. What else have I got? Oh yeah, do you remember Rogue Squadron?
Yes.
On the N64. That I used to play that, and I could never fucking. I'd always crash. There was a level where you had to take down an AT-AT walker.
Yeah.
And I was like. I was just shooting and shooting and shooting, and I was like, why is it not taking any damage? And I never realised that you probably had to do the thing around his feet, like in the movie.
Yeah.
So that pissed me off. Again, I was only little, but I loved it. To me, it was they were always such massive games, weren't they, on the N64? I guess that's why they were so expensive. But games were always expensive.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
But they like N64 cartridges were still like about 50-60 quid, weren't they?
Yeah, and they could.
But even back then,
they weren't really that massive though, because they couldn't hold fuck all on them. Like.
No, but I mean compared to what came before them.
Oh yeah, God yeah.
And then obviously that led into Pokemon on the Game Boy and Mario on the Game Boy. I think I played like the old Game Boy before the color came out, the big old first Game Boy, playing Super Mario on that. And then I remember just playing all sorts of different platform-based games. But then Pokemon came in. Obviously, Pokemon took over my childhood, the cards and the games and the show.
Yeah.
And it obviously led from there to GameCube, which led on to, I think, the DS, and then the Wii, which, again, inclusive, playing with all my family. We'd get it. My dad got one, and we'd get it out like when we have family round and play Wii tennis, and Dad would always beat everyone. It'd be like a running joke. So I think Nintendo have sort of catered to every aspect of my childhood, to be honest. It was probably quite similar for you, actually.
I don't like Nintendo. We've talked about
Yeah, I've told you this. I hate them. What's it mean to you?
Do you want me to do some memories?
Yeah, I like memories.
My first Nintendo experience, the NES. So you would have been too young for that.
I was born in 90.
But I was probably only 2 or 3 when the SNES came out. I was 5. So we had the NES, the Super Mario on that, Super Mario 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And then I got a SNES. Yeah, I mean, it was huge part of my childhood. Zelda: A Link to the Past, still probably one of the best Zelda games, and Super Mario World, which is easily my favourite platform game ever.
Really?
Just because there's so much depth to it.
Yeah.
You complete it, and then there's loads of secret worlds.
Yeah.
Game Boy, Pokemon is huge. Me and my friend went and bought Blue and Red together because Argos did a deal where if you did, you got a link cable.
Oh, really?
Like if you bought both, you got a link cable, so you could trade.
Sweet.
And then we did nothing but play Pokemon for months.
It's crazy how obsessed. Like, I played it again recently. The latest games. I haven't played the very latest one actually.
It's just a remake.
Yeah. But I don't feel like they're really good and really evolved, but they don't have the same charm as Red and Blue and Yellow.
But that's just nostalgia in general.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Like, when I love it when people who are like our age and go, cartoons today aren't as good as they were when we were kids.
Yeah.
It's just the nostalgia feeling.
And you look at cartoons from the late 80s, and you're like, this is shit.
Yeah. It's I mean, they don't quite hold the same charm because nothing will be as good as the first ever time you played a Pokemon game.
I think it's the age you are as well when you first play Pokemon. It's like, wow, this is a whole world for me to explore.
I still play Pokemon because I love it, like the old games, but generally from an RPG point of view, there are far more challenging games that you could be playing on your DS. Like,
I would love, I remember thinking about this when World of Warcraft first came out. I was like, how sick would a MMO Pokemon game be?
Yeah, me and my friends have talked about it before, but I
don't know if it would be right.
I would like franchise. A fully functional 3D game for the Wii U. That would be good.
Like, remember how good Pokemon Snap was?
Yes.
Imagine that, but Pokemon Snap was just an elephant. Jesus, an element of the game as a whole. So it would be like a Pokemon game on the handheld, but obviously with your Wii U full 3D console game, combined with actually you have to take pictures using the gamepad, and it could be like Pokemon Stadium because you have your battles. So it's like all the most successful Pokemon games built into one.
Fair enough.
From fucking Mystery Dungeon. Did you ever play that?
No, but they're really popular.
They're so
in
popular,
Japan.
but I don't know anything about them.
My favourite Pokemon game, as it were, non-main series, is Pokemon Conquest for the DS.
See, I never played that either.
It's really good. And, N64, probably biggest memory, GoldenEye and Perfect Dark.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about GoldenEye.
Like 4 of us sat around playing. I prefer Perfect Dark because you can fight against really hard bots. But it's an unofficial sequel to GoldenEye anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's not a James Bond game?
No, because I don't think they could get the license or whatever, right. So it's just an unofficial sequel.
Oh, right.
And also Star Wars Pod Racing on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? I think I vaguely remember that.
And that was great.
Obviously, around the same time as the Phantom Menace came out.
And my...
It's so weird that the Phantom Menace came out when the N64 was out, because you'd think that they wouldn't match up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The N64 seems way older than the Phantom Menace.
Sort of.
I mean...
Although I like to pretend the Phantom Menace doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's almost sacrilegious to compare them.
Yeah, a little bit.
Too.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
Something about... we're talking about your nostalgia.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay.
But I mean, the GameCube was just... I've had every Nintendo console, basically. There isn't one that I haven't owned, I don't think. It was also my first introduction into Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy VI on the Super Nintendo is still one of my favourite games ever.
Do you still have a SNES?
Yeah, somewhere.
I wonder... do you know what? I wonder if the next console will be like a new SNES. like it's they call it the Super Nintendo again, but it's like obviously an up-to-date version of it.
I doubt
that would
it.
go down a storm if they did.
It would for retro feeling, yeah, but I don't.
No, but yeah. I mean, just like basically simply a game console, controllers, and a place to put your CD in.
Yeah.
Put your disc in.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice.
Fucking gamepad.
I like the gamepad, but it's too plasticky. It feels like a toy.
Yeah, and it runs out of battery so quickly.
Yeah, it does. I just keep mine plugged in, and then they bought out a bigger battery. And they're like, "Yeah, that's 25 quid." I was like, "No."
Yeah, just give it to me in the first place.
I can't find my Wii remote.
So do you know what? Fuck you, Nintendo, for everything you've done to us.
Well, they are still a business, but you know, sadly they made a few mistakes with the Wii U, and it doesn't.
Nintendo, I mean, in terms of improvement, they've had the biggest uphill battle when it comes to gaming.
Yeah, I think the problem was the Wii did
companies.
so well that they just kind of assumed that they
Icarus.
could do the same thing again. Yeah, and it unfortunately didn't work. It's a shame. I mean, I love my Wii U, but there's no one making games for it except for Nintendo. So we get like a new game every 3-4 months.
Well, I'm sad that they didn't make another Luigi's Mansion game.
They did for the 3DS.
No, but on the like a console one.
I'm not, because the 3DS version's really good and it's got really good multiplayer.
Okay, I just liked it on I guess in bigger. Seeing it bigger.
I get that.
But I guess if that's the only thing, if that's the only draw, 3DS XL is pretty much a big, a small TV anyway.
You can play it with your friends.
Yeah.
So it is.
I
really
don't have
good.
any friends though.
That is very true.
You're just you call me your colleague, which is very weird.
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, you do, but only when we're in bed. We've got a meeting today, colleague. Hey, don't you come up here. Uh-oh. The cats are fighting. What's next on my list? See, we're not doing... This is like a bonus episode. We don't want to do emails and stuff till the next one. Because there's no point going, oh, R.I.P., we're going to miss you. And then going, so, fucking, have you ever licked a bumhole or something?
That was an email.
It was, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, no, there's no, we don't do emails in special episodes unless they're specifically... based around what we're talking about.
I mean, you're going to get Splatoon. I'm just thinking of like current Nintendo games that are worth looking into.
If you have a Wii U and you don't own Mario Kart and Smash Brothers, you're missing out on the two biggest games for the console.
Yeah, I mean, that Mario Kart, Smash Bros, and Pikmin are the three games I've enjoyed most on the GameCube. Fucking Wii U. Why am I saying? I just missed the GameCube. The GameCube was awesome. Do you remember Time Splitters?
Yes. Yeah, Time Splitters 2 was really good.
Really hard, though.
Only if you're rubbish at games.
Fuck you, dude. Stop being so mean to me all the time. I'll tell you what we haven't talked about yet.
What?
Mario Galaxy.
Okay.
They were awesome.
Yeah, they were okay.
What do you mean? They were so good.
They were fine. They were good platform games.
They're my favourite Mario games.
Really?
Yeah, well, apart from Mario Kart.
Fair enough.
I just like the...
I think when you say Mario games, we're talking about platform games specifically, not the sports endeavours.
No, fucking Mario Tennis. I haven't played that.
I love Mario Tennis.
Is it just like Wii Tennis? But
no, because originally it came out on other consoles.
I think I played Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Oh yeah.
That
was okay.
I like that. I think, but for me, Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 were just like, it was obviously just a disguised platform game, but a really well disguised platform game.
I don't think they pretended it wasn't a platform game.
No, they didn't. But in terms of, it's not just okay. Move on to this level now. Move on to this level now. It just looked really nice and it was really inventive.
They are good games. Definitely very good games.
So I mean, I would welcome another one of them. We've got new Star Fox coming.
Yeah, I'm not that bothered about that. I never was that keen on it. It was like the Super Nintendo version was okay.
It had a good charm. It had its...
Yeah, it was okay. I always just got bored of it really quickly.
What else is coming?
Not a lot. That's the problem with talking about current Nintendo is...
Yoshi's Woolly World looks...
That's out now, isn't it, I think?
It looks really nice.
It does look very pretty.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll play it, though, to be honest. I'm not sure that it's... I don't want to spend 40 quid on it. It doesn't look like it's...
No, I mean, if I had a daughter or a young son or a young daughter, I'd go, hey, here's a cool game to play, and then I'd watch them play it and then have a go.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's probably a fun game.
I mean, you should probably pick up Earthbound on the Wii U Virtual Console if you've never played that.
What is it?
It's the game that Ness comes from.
Oh, yes, yeah.
It's a really incredibly in-depth game, and it's only been released in the UK for the first time recently on the Wii U Virtual Console, so you really should.
Japanese release, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll check that out.
It's really good.
I've got some questions, but I want to save them to the end for some Steve is a fucking nerd. I'm going to call it Steve is a fucking nerd Tendo instead.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, look, I've got a thing here what I did. Okay. Top 5 Nintendo games.
Oh, okay.
Top 5 non-Nintendo games, but they were on Nintendo systems. So, games that Nintendo didn't make.
Okay.
And top 3 Nintendo consoles.
Oh, baby.
So, tell me about some of your... You don't have to do top 5, I've just done that, but tell me about some of your favourite games and why.
Well, Mario Galaxy, because of...
the reasons what you just said.
The reasons what I just said. Ocarina of Time, because it was my first love. And it was a interesting story, big game. For me, it was my introduction to the Zelda franchise. So that for me was a big deal.
Can I eat some chocolate?
Oh, can I have some?
Yeah, go on.
Milky Bar giant buttons.
They're like the big milky nipples.
Oh, don't tease me. Just huge lactating beasts. My cat looked at me so weirdly as I said that. I think that's going to be my new nickname for him. Mario Galaxy, Ocarina of Time, and Mario Kart Double Dash.
Okay.
It's wicked.
Yep.
Pokemon Yellow.
Okay.
Because I like that Pikachu could follow you around.
Yeah, that was pretty nifty. If not just a shameless marketing ploy to tie into the TV show. And
it fucking worked. But really, all the handheld Pokemon games have been good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a bit disenchanted with the latest ones.
See, I'm not. I love X and Y. I didn't like Black and White, though. I just couldn't get on with them.
No, I do. I do really like them, but it's just because of me as a person. I was more... there was more magic to the original ones for me.
Sure.
What have I missed? Anything big? Mario Sunshine I didn't play very much, but I played it a bit and enjoyed it.
That was a very good game.
Yeah. In terms of Nintendo games, that's pretty much it. I mean, Zelda for me is my favourite franchise. Skyward Sword I actually really enjoyed.
There hasn't been a Zelda game I haven't enjoyed.
No, I mean I haven't played them all. That's the thing. I've played Spirit Tracks as well. Like just fucking all of them. But yeah. So what's next? They're my kind of the ones off the top of my head that I think they're the Nintendo games that I really
non-Nintendo games, but games that are on Nintendo systems.
Okay, so there was GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, yeah.
Time Splitters 2 on the
GameCube.
I'm trying to think. I wasn't really ever interested in all that interested in non-Nintendo games on Nintendo consoles, apart from the ones I've said.
See, that's where you missed out though, like on some really good games.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't avoid them. I just was too into your Mario and your Zelda and stuff. Throw some examples at me, and I'll see if I've played them.
Well, I mean, the biggest example of a series of games you never played was Final Fantasy.
I know, yeah.
And they are splashed all over Nintendo's history. Like, you can't really move without thinking of a Square Enix game on the Nintendo system.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I need to play Final Fantasy
Yeah.
at some point. I don't know why I never did. I was too.
Well, you've got the remake coming to
Yeah.
PS4. I mean, I'd recommend playing the old versions before it does, but
Yeah, I'll check them out. What else is there?
so there's stuff like, obviously you got things like Streets of Rage 2 for the Super Nintendo and GoldenEye, like you said, and Pod Racing and the Star Wars games.
Oh yeah, Rogue Squadron, it was good.
Battlefront and stuff like that, and then you've got things like tie-ins, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that, Resident Evil games. I'm thinking about, stuff that was on those consoles but wasn't made by Nintendo.
See, I remember I had my PS2 and I had my GameCube, and I bought Nintendo. I had a Nintendo console for my Nintendo games, and I had PS2 for the ones that
But there were some games that weren't on the PS2.
No, there weren't. But I guess I didn't play them apart from things like GoldenEye. But for me, it was more about the Nintendo titles. I guess it's like Sony's doing pretty well with their titles, but I guess they just publish the games rather than make them, don't they?
Well, they technically make them, but it's one of their studios.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same with Nintendo. Like, it's not just Nintendo, it's HAL Laboratories and Game Freak, and they're all subsidiaries of Nintendo, but...
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. I don't know. For me, Nintendo was more about Nintendo's franchises.
Fair enough.
What was the third thing?
Your 3 favourite Nintendo consoles?
So I would have to say the Nintendo Xbox, the Nintendo
PlayStation,
the Nintendo Commodore. Actually, wasn't that a rip-off of the... Wasn't that like a...
I think it came first.
I was reading up about the Nintendo, the NES, and that there were other countries around the world that made basically...
They ripped off,
copies, but maybe one of them was called a Commodore, but it was a different thing. Anyway, so... GameCube, because of, GameCube, N64, and Game Boy Color for the nostalgia.
Okay.
What are yours? Starting from the top.
So, top 5 Nintendo games. They're not in order. I've actually put 6 because I couldn't cut one. Super Mario World.
Yeah.
For the reasons that I said, because it's just a brilliant game. Pokemon Silver.
Silver, specifically.
Yeah, or that generation, but Silver. I loved Blue, but I loved Silver more.
Fair
there
enough.
was more to it. And also you could do the new gyms and then go back to Kanto and do all the old stuff as well.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda, I've put Link to the Past, Majora's Mask, because I can't
Majora's
decide.
Mask is freaky deaky.
And Link to the Past is just incredible.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing is one of my all-time favourite series that Nintendo have made.
Yeah?
Yep.
I've never played an Animal Crossing game either.
They're really...
Is it where you have to build a house in that?
You basically move into
have
a town.
Nice time.
You have a house and you have to pay back for it, so you have to make money to pay it back. But there's no time limit. You can go fishing or you can just basically do what you want.
Sounds like how I want to live my life in real life.
When it came out on the N64 in Japan, over here it came out on the GameCube because it took years to come out.
Yeah.
You got like a memory card in it, and you could find NES games and play them in the game.
Oh wow,
they're really good games.
That's wicked.
I
read that. I was actually reading about Animal Crossing today, and that on the TVs at 3:33 a.m. a picture of an alien appears.
Oh really?
Which is just a little Easter egg they do.
Nice.
Even though I guess 3:33 isn't that meant to be like the witching hour, not the alien hour?
I thought 1 o'clock was the witching hour.
I thought it was 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! There's 2 witching hours.
Could be one of them.
We can't move for witches.
I put Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, because it's just amazing. And Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube.
Fair.
Non-Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VI for the aforementioned reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube.
I played that. I did play that.
It came out about 6 months or a year later on the PS2, but it was a GameCube exclusive for a long time.
Yeah.
And it was in my mind, the last good Resident Evil that came out.
Sure.
Stop curtain twitching.
I'm sorry. I just keep hearing something.
Eternal Darkness.
Yeah.
for the GameCube. Did you play that?
No.
Really? It's
No.
fucking incredible.
What's it about?
You play throughout ages and you play a different character, and it's about this book, but you go insane, and when you go insane, random things happen, like the walls start bleeding and your head will blow up.
Is it a FPS?
No,
Well,
no,
not FPS, but
it's
like...
similar to Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
I don't actually... I'm sure it's not Nintendo that made it, but I'll have to double check.
Okay.
Bravely Default for the 3DS.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And a game that was only released in Japan, but I played with an emulator over here. Dragon Ball Z Legend of the Super Saiyan for the Super Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's
Really
not a
good.
Nintendo game?
No, it wouldn't have been made by Nintendo.
Okay.
It was made by... I can't remember the company, but...
Mm.
yeah, it was an RPG based around Dragon Ball Z that I played when I was a kid. And
Wicked.
consoles, I put SNES,
Yeah.
DS/3DS, because it's the same family, and the GameCube.
Fair enough. SNES or NES?
SNES, Super Nintendo.
Yeah. SNES, DS, and GameCube.
Yes.
Makes sense. I'm glad that we got different things.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that was fun. That was cool. Do you want to do some Steve is a fucking nerd? You know more than me, as usual, about things.
Well, not always.
So let me test you. I mean, I've tried to make these questions hard.
Ooh.
Not that kind of hard, Steve. Now.
I didn't
Come
say
on
anything,
now.
motherfucker.
Come on. Now then.
Now then. Wait, isn't that Jimmy Savile?
That is Jimmy Savile. But less about him, more about these chocolate buttons. You know what I'm saying? Right, I'm going to eat these two, and then I've only got 4 questions this time, because I ran out of time. I had to come pick you up. I'm fucking lazy, so I didn't do my homework.
I did mine at work.
I should have done that. Sorry about the eating. It's just delicious. Ready?
Yeah.
Right, Steve is a fucking nerd tendo. Number 1. What is the I'm going to start again. What is the rarest and most expensive NES cartridge?
Is it one of the championship gold cartridges where they only made like 5 or something?
I don't think so.
Okay. Or is it one of the golden Zelda cartridges?
No.
What is it?
It's just called Stadium Events.
Yeah, that was it was a championship thing where they only made it for this one tournament.
Oh, okay.
And you that was the only way to play it, was at this particular tournament.
Oh, right. So
Yeah.
they only made a few. Well, that's what it is. And a copy recently sold on eBay for $41,300.
Yeah, I saw that.
That is too much money. If I had $41,300, do you know what I'd buy?
What? Stadium games?
Yeah, probably. And then sell it for a profit in 10 years' time. Number 2.
Go on.
What year was the Nintendo Entertainment System discontinued? Got an itchy nose, man.
Was it the 90s?
Yes.
Oh, got a feel. Nintendo keeps support of their consoles going for a long time.
So when do you reckon it came out, the NES?
Late 80s, early 90s.
Was it 88?
88. So
Or something like that.
probably. I mean, they only discontinued like support of the Super Nintendo like a few years ago, though. Like in terms
Really?
of technical support. So 96.
Very close, 1995. But yeah, they have a long old run. And
Yeah, they
considering
do.
that was the first one. Okay, what year did Miyamoto join?
80s.
No.
Oh, was it 90s?
No.
2000s.
No.
Well, it can't have been the 70s. Really? 78.
No, 77
Ugh.
was he who joined Nintendo. And lastly, how many Zelda games are there in total?
Are we including really dodgy like Famicom CD titles here, or?
Well, I think from the page I looked, this is the canon, if you like.
Okay. Zelda 2, Link to the Past.
I think I took a picture of the ones that they were. If not, I'll have to look them up, but I only wrote down the number.
Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass, Minish Cap, Four Swords Adventures, Skyward Sword, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess.
I can't believe we didn't even mention Twilight Princess. That was a sick game.
The new what other ones was there? Link's Awakening. Was there any other main series ones I've missed out there? I feel like that's all.
How many have you got to?
18.
Correct.
Was it 18?
Yeah.
Yay!
So, yeah, we've got Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Ancient Stone Tablets, whoever that is. Oh, repeat for the Japan only. Well, whatever that is. Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Oracle of Seasons, Wind Waker, Four Swords, Twilight Princess, Minish Cap, Twilight Princess. Have we said Twilight Princess?
That might be included in the Wii version, no, or something.
Yeah, the Wii version of Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and A Link Between Worlds. And Legend of Zelda on Wii U, which isn't out yet.
No.
It's actually been delayed till next year now, I think.
don't think it'll come out on the Wii U. I think it'll come out on their next console.
On the next one. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
There you go. That's your 4 questions. You actually got... You got one right, and you got 3 of them nearly right. So I think you're pretty safe. You're pretty safely knowledgeable about Nintendo.
Cheers.
It's pretty sad news about
Yeah, it sucks.
deaths and stuff, but it means it gave us a chance to sort of revisit. And I think we should we'll play some more Mario Kart now that we live not just next door to each other. We have more of an excuse to,
We
play
never
online.
played games when we did live next door to
No,
each
but
other.
remember when we'd play Mario Kart sometimes online, and
Yeah.
Ali was like, "Why don't you just go next door?" And you're like, "Shut up." But yeah, it was, Nintendo is a good thing.
Yeah,
It's a good part of the world. So
Yeah, they're one of my favourite things.
looking forward to what they've got to come.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Thanks, guys. That was our special episode on Nintendo. If you have any questions on it, then email them as usual to beardwags@gmail.com.
Send them to someone who cares.
Like us. Like me, but not Steve. Apparently. He's playing a character. Let's just roll with it. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Don't pull back the curtains.
Don't pay no attention to the grumpy man behind the curtain. So, you're being very quiet now. Are you ready to call it a day?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say some things. You look like you were going to talk.
Oh, that's just my face.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Steve.
See you later. All right.